What is justice? Why is justice independently considered one of the fundamental principles of faith? The difference between justice and equality. 1. Why has justice been chosen from among all the attributes? In this discussion, the first point to address is why justice, which is one of the attributes of God, has been recognized by scholars as one of the 5 fundamental principles of religion. God is knowledgeable, He is capable, He is just, He is wise, He is compassionate and merciful, He is eternal, He is the creator and the provider. Why has justice, out of all His attributes, been chosen and established as one of the foundational principles of religion? To answer this important question, several points must be considered. 1. Justice holds such significance among the divine attributes that many other attributes return to it. Justice, in the broadest sense, means placing everything in its proper place. In this way, wisdom, providence, mercy, and all other divine qualities align with justice. 2. The matter of resurrection, the afterlife, is also based on the concept of divine justice. The prophethood of the messengers and the responsibility of the imams are also linked to God's justice. 3. At the early stages of Islam, there was a disagreement about the justice of God. A group of Sunni Muslims known as the Ash'arites completely denied the justice of God. They claimed that concepts of justice and oppression do not apply to God, as the entire universe belongs to Him, and whatever He does is inherently just. They did not even accept the notion of good and evil in an objective sense, arguing that human reason cannot perceive them. This led to many errors in their beliefs. Another group of Sunni Muslims, the Mutazilites, and the entire Shia community believed in the principle of justice in relation to God. They asserted that God never commits injustice. To distinguish between these two groups, the second group was called Adliya, those who affirm justice, who considered justice a principle of their doctrine, while the first group, non-Adliya, was opposed to this. The Shia were part of the Adliya group. To clarify its doctrine, Shia added the concept of imamate as a fundamental principle. Therefore, wherever the terms justice and imamate are discussed, they refer to the doctrine of Shia Islam. 4. Since the branches of religion always reflect the principles of faith, and because the divine justice has a profound impact on human society, social justice becomes the most important foundation of human society. Choosing justice as a core principle of faith symbolizes the revival of justice in human societies and the fight against all forms of oppression. The universe is built on justice, and human society will not stand. 2. What is justice? Justice has two distinct meanings. 1. The broad meaning of justice is, as mentioned, placing everything in its proper place. In other words, it refers to balance and harmony. This meaning of justice governs the entire creation from the solar systems, within atoms, in the structure of the human body, and in all plants and living creatures. This is what the Prophet Muhammad famously said: "By justice, the heavens and the earth stand firm." For instance, if the forces of attraction and repulsion on Earth were to lose their balance, either the Earth would be drawn toward the Sun, catch fire, and be destroyed, or it would drift out of orbit, lost in the vast expanse of space, and perish. This meaning of justice is also reflected in the well-known poetry. What is justice? It is placing things in their proper place. What is oppression? It is placing things in the wrong place. For instance, if water is poured on the roots of a flowering plant or a fruit tree, it is used properly, and this is justice. If the same water is poured on weeds or thorns, it is misused, and that is oppression. 2. The other meaning of justice is respecting the rights of individuals, which is the opposite of oppression, taking someone else's right or giving someone else's right to another, or engaging in discrimination by giving rights to some while withholding them from others. This second meaning is the specific definition, while the first meaning is general. It should be noted that both meanings of justice apply to God. However, in these discussions, we primarily refer to the second meaning. Divine justice means that God neither violates anyone's rights nor gives one person's right to another. He does not discriminate among individuals. God is entirely just, and we will explore the reasons for His justice in the next discussion. Oppression, whether it is taking someone's right, giving someone's right to another, or unjustly treating others, has no place in God's nature. God will never punish a righteous person, nor reward a wrongdoer. He will never hold someone accountable for another's sin, nor will He punish both the righteous and the wicked equally. Even if, in a large society, everyone were a sinner except one person, God would separate the judgment of that one person from the others and not place him among the wicked in terms of punishment. The claim made by the Asherites that if God were to send all the prophets to hell and all the criminals to paradise, it would not be considered oppression, is an absurd and disgraceful statement. Anyone whose mind is not clouded by superstitions or bias will recognize the absurdity of this idea. 3. The difference between justice and equality. Another important point in this discussion is the distinction between justice and equality. Sometimes, people confuse justice with equality, assuming that justice means treating everyone equally. This is not the case. For example, justice in a classroom does not mean giving all students the same grade. Justice is that each student receives a grade based on their knowledge and ability. Similarly, justice between two workers is not about giving them the same wage, but about compensating them according to the amount of work and effort they put in. In nature, too, justice in its broadest sense means this: if the heart of a whale, which weighs about 1 ton, were to be the same size as the heart of a sparrow, which might weigh just 1 gram, that would be unjust. If the root of a tall, mature tree were the same as the root of a tiny sapling, that would not be justice, but oppression. Justice means that every being receives according to its worth, ability, and potential.